Welcome, everybody. I am so happy to see you all here tonight for our third episode in the My Herbal Homework series. Tonight we're going to be talking about the Ayurvedic Tridosha Theory. And we touched a little bit on the history of Ayurvedic tradition last week, and we learned about how Ayurveda is the mother of all medicines. And so we are going to expand on that tonight and dive into Tridosha Theory. I just want to say thank you to all of you who are here. As I've explained before, these webinars are incredibly helpful to me in progressing through my studies. And so thank you so much for taking the time out of your evening to hang out with me. For anyone here that doesn't know me personally, my name is Shana. I live with my husband and our two sons in the Bitterroot Valley of western Montana. We haven't always lived here. We're pretty new around these parts. And let's see. We have a couple acres and we homestead. I raise dairy goats, and this is me with our young dairy Jersey heifer who will be calving for the first time in a couple weeks, which we're really excited about. We raise chickens and pigs, and we garden extensively. I also homeschool my children. Nature, animals, plants, herbs play a huge role in our days together, and we have a ton of fun. I also homeschool myself at the East-West School of Planetary Herbology, where I am enrolled in their professional herbalist course. I am on a path to becoming a professional herbalist through the American Herbalist Guild, and so that's my goal. I've been enrolled in this program for a couple years now, and I have to say I haven't been the best or most consistent student. Starting our little farm, the birth of my second son, and moving from California to Montana have all happened since I first enrolled in this course. And so just recently I've recommitted myself to my studies, and these webinars are a product of that. I have committed to sharing the things that I am studying each week with my community. And so while I may not be the best student, I would never break a promise to my family and friends. So your participation and support for these webinars is really keeping me headed in the right direction and progressing through my studies. So thank you again for being here tonight. So we'll just dive right in with the material that we're covering tonight. As we already talked about a little bit, Ayurveda is considered the mother of all healing because it was probably the first organized system of healing. It can be historically traced and seen as a founding influence on traditional Tibetan, Chinese, and ancient Greco-Roman healing. The most important Ayurveda texts are called the Karaka Samhita and the Sushruta Samhita, from the 1st to the 4th century ACE. These two texts analyze the human body in terms of earth, water, fire, air, and ether. It's a typo there, as well as the three bodily humors, wind, bile, and phlegm. The biggest challenge for a Western mind trying to understand any Eastern healing system is that we must grapple with the preconditioned linear thought process that we've been trained with and come to a more holistic view where the body, mind, and spirit are one, and where ultimately all healing reflects that interconnection. So there's going to be a lot of terminology tonight that is going to sound really obscure and unfamiliar, and I will try my best to relate that in as clear a way as possible. So just try not to get overwhelmed and just follow along with me, and it all comes together in the end and paints a really beautiful holistic picture of the mind, body, and spirit connection. and how that is integral to our health. So in Ayurveda, the word Ayurveda means the science of life in Sanskrit. Rather than a system of diagnosis, it studies the interrelationship of physiological processes and external factors such as the environment, our lifestyle habits, work, and diet. Herbs, therapies, and spiritual practice are incorporated to maintain health, with each treatment individually designed according to a person's constitution and current imbalance. To prevent illness, Ayurvedic medicine emphasizes hygiene, exercise, herbal preparations, and yoga. So what exactly is a dosha? At the heart of Ayurveda are the 3 doshas, or humors, which describe 3 basic types of human constitutions or body types. Interestingly, the doshas are also regarded as faults or imperfections because they are the outer physical appearance that obscures a pure inner spiritual essence, or also known as our souls. This is a deep subject, but it is enough to say for now that the 3 doshas represent the physical aspect of our being and at best an imperfect reflection of our inner spirit. So in Ayurveda, material creation consists of 3 basic qualities known as the gunas. So our first guna is called sattva. And sattva is the principle of light, perception, intelligence, and harmony. Rajas is the principle of energy, activity, emotion, and turbulence. Tamas is the principle of inertia, darkness, dullness, and resistance. And so these 3 gunas coexist in all creation and in every individual. Sattva gives pure quality of mind, resulting in the values of truth, honesty, humility, compassion, balance, pure intelligence, and motor abilities. Rajas reflects as power, prestige, authority, control, an active vital force in the body. Tamas reflects the qualities of fear, lassitude, ignorance, and the 5 bodily senses. From these 3 basic gunas stem the 5 elements. Ether comes out of sattva, fire from rajas, earth from tamas, and from the combination of sattva and rajas we have air, and from the combination of rajas and tamas we have water. So these 5 elements, ether, air, fire, water, and earth, correspond to the 5 states of matter in our universe. So ethereal, gaseous, radiant, liquid, and solid. Correspondingly, there are 5 plant parts: fruit, flowers, leaves, stems, branches, and roots. And there's also the seed, but the seed is said to contain all 5 elements since it encompasses the entire potential of a plant. And so the elements further correspond to the concepts of special relationships, movement, electricity, cohesion, and weight, the physical elements of the universe. And since we humans are part of the universe, also our body and the bodies of plants and other animals on Earth. So because all 5 elements originated in the cosmic consciousness, they are present in all matter of the universe. Thus, modern physics actually proves this, that energy and matter can be viewed as one. So these elements describe how all parts of the whole are interdependent. One can't exist without the other. And health is a balance. And so in Ayurvedic terms, health is a balance of all of these elements, and disease as an imbalance of one in relation to the other in our body. So the way the 5 elements show up in our body is ether is all of the channels and networks such as veins, ducts, arteries, and sockets. sound is transmitted through the ether as well. So it's related to hearing in the ear, as well as speech, the vocal cords, and the mouth. Air provides movement through the nervous activity and includes gaseous substances. Air is related to the sense of touch, the skin, the action of holding, and thus the hands. Fire includes heat, process of digestion, and catabolic processes which give off heat. So fire manifesting as light, which is heat and color, is related to vision, the eyes, walking, and the feet. Water includes all fluid components. Water is related to taste, the tongue, the genitals, which in Ayurveda are referred to as the lower tongues, and the action of procreation. Earth is attributed to all solid, immobile components such as bones and cartilage. It's also related to the sense of smell, the nose, the action of excretion and elimination. So now that we are aware of the gunas and the five elements, we are approaching the entire Tridosha theory and how all of these things come together to create the 3 doshas. Let me get my notes here. So, out of ether and air, we have, when ether and air combine in balance, we have the Vata dosha, which is dominated by the Sattva guna. Fire tends to stand alone and gives us the Pitta dosha, which is dominated by the Rajas guna. When water and earth combine, we have the Kapha dosha, which is dominated by the Tamas guna. And so the philosophy of the primordial doshas, Vata, Pitta, and Kapha, is a general description of all the physical manifestations in the world. Since humans are part of the world, we too are comprised of the 3 doshas. So when these 3 doshas, so even though as humans we may have a predominant dosha that we were born with, all 3 doshas are present inside of us. And so when the 3 doshas are in balance or in equilibrium state in our body, that is when we are healthy. When a dosha becomes deranged, and creates an imbalance in our body, that is how we develop disease. And so when you look at it that way, you can say that Ayurveda is the art of keeping that predominant dosha that we were born with from becoming deranged, aggravated, or too excessive. In the body, Tridosha relates to the metabolic balance, with Vata being nerve energy, Pitta being catabolic fire energy, and Kapha being anabolic nutritive energy. So Tridosha theory extends to encompass all material and spiritual planes of nature. So this isn't something that is seen as just being inside of the human body. These qualities and energies span all space and time. And as it says, this includes time as we humans define it, such as times of day, the seasons of the earth, and periods of our life. So as you can see in this chart, Vata dosha is correspondent to the air element. It is that nervous energy that moves in our body. It corresponds to the afternoon and early morning, and the season, autumn. And the time of life is 40, when we're 40 years old or older, and the color blue, and it corresponds to taste, bitter and astringent. Pitta, the fire element, is that catabolic heat energy in our body. It corresponds to noon and midnight, spring and summer times of the year, and the ages 16 to 39. Kapha, the water element, is that anabolic nutritive energy in our body. corresponds to morning and late evening, and the winter and spring times of the year, and the ages 1 to 15. And so now that we kind of see how the doshas are described, and we know that there are the 3 doshas, we can talk about the individual characteristics of each dosha. So the Vata dosha we'll talk about first. The Vata dosha basic attributes are cold, dry, light, subtle, mobile, rough, clear, and changeable. Vata is the most powerful dosha because it powers the other 2 doshas. Being the life force itself, when deranged, Vata also has the strongest potential to create disease. Vata governs all movement and carries both Pitta and Kapha throughout the body. The movement of childbirth, the heart, food, urine, and feces, all controlled by Vata. It also maintains the energy of respiration, motion, and acuity of our senses. The special function of Vata is to balance the other 2 doshas. So a lot of times, if you have like a too much or deranged Kapha, you can provide treatments that increase or stimulate Vata to check that Kapha. That's an example of that. Vata's primary seat is in the large intestine. This is where it can accumulate most and cause disease, and it is also where it can be most directly expelled from the body. Therefore, therapies are targeted in this area. The Vata dosha is aggravated by excessive study, sex and movement, by fighting, wrestling, carrying heavy weights, swimming, staying up late, airplane travel, and forceful restraint of your breath, feces, semen, sneezes, tears, and urine. Vata is excited by herbs that are bitter or astringent, beans, because they create gas, irregular eating, fasting, coldness, wind, and rain. When aggravated, Vata causes dryness, coldness, constipation, loss of strength, insomnia, dark discolorations, tremors, abdominal distensions, loss of sensory acuity, incoherence of speech, and tiredness. So the typical body shape of a Vata person is slender with minimal muscular development. The main appearance and temperament of the Vata predominant person is dryness of skin, brittle hair and nails, nervous disposition, changeable, impatient, unsteady, excessive talking, fast, irregular movements, and infertility. The complexion is tinged brown, while the skin may be cold, rough, dry, or cracked. They usually have dark moles too. Vata people vary in height, but usually have thin frames and low muscle development. Urine and feces tend to be scant or dry, with a tendency towards constipation. There is little perspiration, and sleep may be light and disturbed. Vata people crave sour, sweet, and salty tastes. A key sign of Vata people is their changeability. Appetite and digestion vary. Sometimes they eat a large meal with ease. Other times they may have no appetite at all. Their tendency for irregularity extends to many areas of life, including relationships, sleeping habits, life, work, and interests. Vata people are usually creative, active, alert, and restless. They have quick mental understanding, but can be absent-minded and tend to have a short memory. Being changeable, they also have a marked tendency toward indecisiveness and impatience. They may think and worry too much and are often nervous from fear and anxiety. Vata people need to develop endurance, steadiness, confidence, and boldness. Their dreams are often of flying, jumping, and running, and can be fearful. The Pitta dosha attributes are moist, hot, fluid, brilliant, piercing, clear, subtle, oily, and malodorous. It is responsible for heat or fire in the body, which is a byproduct of the breakdown of food. When functioning properly, Pitta maintains digestion, bodily warmth, visual acuity, appetite, thirst, luster of skin, intelligence, determination, courage, and softness of the body. Pitta is represented by the digestive secretions, bile, and strong acids. It protects the body from cold and keeps a balance of heat. The primary seat of Pitta is in the small intestines. This is the best place to focus your therapies in order to expel excess Pitta. Pitta is aggravated by anger, grief, hard work, excessive sexual activity, acid, salt, pungent taste, sesame and mustard oils, fish, buttermilk, whey, mutton, most green vegetables, fasting, acid fruits, alcohol, and meat. Fire, excessive exposure to the sun, summertime, noon and midnight, injury, and toxicity of the blood are all derangements of the Pitta dosha. When aggravated, Pitta causes concentrated yellowness of the urine, feces, eye, and skin, and it may create excessive hunger, thirst, burning sensations, and difficulty sleeping. In disease, Pitta manifests as fever, yellow or bloody discharges, and any disease associated with burning sensations, acidity, reddish pigmentation, sight, thinking, thirst, perspiration, and restlessness. The typical Pitta body type has a medium build, moderate weight, and muscle development. In appearance and temperament, the characteristics of Pitta predominant people are intolerance to fire and heat, a yellowish complexion or coppery hue, radiant color, pimples, a tendency towards baldness, wrinkles, and prematurely gray hair. They may have moles or freckles that are blue or reddish or brownish red. Their hair is thin, silky, blonde, red, or brownish. Eyes may be gray, green, or copper, often with poor vision, and their nails may be soft and the nose sharp with a reddish tip. The Pitta constitution has a good, sharp digestion and metabolism, and they are capable of ingesting large amounts of food and drink, especially cold liquids. They naturally crave sweet, bitter, and astringent tastes, and their sleep is moderate and uninterrupted. They perspire a lot with a fetid odor and have a high body temp with warm hands and feet. Mentally, Pitta people are intelligent and sharp-witted, comprehending quickly and communicating well. Jealousy and ambition are common personality traits. Quick to anger, and they are quick to cool down. Pitta people are also vigorous, brave, irrepressible in arguments, not fearful, and quick to come to the defense of others. Their dreams are often of fires, meteors, lightning, and red objects. The key attributes of the Kapha dosha now are moist, cold, wet, heavy, slow, dull, static, smooth, dense, and cloudy. Kapha is in charge of substance, weight, stability, growth, and building, tissue repair, and inhibiting heat in the body. Water, the element of Kapha, lubricates in the form of mucus in the sockets and between the layers of our muscles. In the body, Kapha is thick and oily. When functioning properly, it is responsible for imparting strength and firmness and in generating new tissue. Thus, it creates stability and heaviness in the body and generates the mental qualities of forgiveness, patience, generosity, peace, and love. The sweet and salty tastes increase or aggravate Kapha, while the bitter and pungent tastes reduce Kapha. The chest is the primary seat of the water element, although the stomach is often assigned the same role. These are the places where Kapha can accumulate and cause disease, and also where it can be most easily expelled. Kapha is aggravated by too many fluids, coldness, excessive sleep, sleeping during the day, heavy foods, lack of exercise, dampness, dairy, fruit, sweets, bread, fat, and salt. When aggravated, Kapha causes loss of strength, indigestion, accumulation of mucus, exhaustion, feelings of heaviness, coldness, loose limbs, difficult breathing, coughing, salivation, goiter, fat, clear urine, pale stools or constipation, drowsiness, white coating on the tongue, excessive sleep, or small watery boils. All mucousy, white-colored disease symptoms associated with coldness indicate an imbalance of Kapha, as are any kind of symptoms that manifest while you're eating. So the Kapha constitution has a more stocky build, thick skin, good musculature and a broad chest, along with a tendency to be overweight. The temperament and appearance of Kapha predominance is stoutness, patience, strength, beauty, self-control, forgiveness, generosity, and dutifulness. The voice is strong and forthright, and the body is proportional and symmetrical. Body heat is moderate. They tend to sleep a lot and have a fondness for pungent, spicy, and bitter foods. Kapha people are loyal friends and a conservative, protecting nature. They take time to make decisions, after which they tend to be stubborn and are not easily swayed. They often enjoy long lives. The Kapha complexion is fair, pale, or white with soft, oily, moist, and cold skin. The hair is thick, dark, soft, and wavy, and their eyes are large and black or blue in color. Kapha people exhibit good appetites with slow digestion. They tend to move slow but are dependable and sure. They perspire moderately and sleep soundly, but slumber is often prolonged and way too excessive. They have strong endurance and good stamina. Tolerance, calmness, compassion, strong physical health, and contentment are common Kapha characteristics. However, Kapha constitution can also be prone to greed, attachment, envy, and possessiveness. Comprehension is slow in Kapha people, but their understanding is profound. Dreams may be romantic and of the water, the ocean, and swimming. So, after having learned all of this, everyone's question always is, what is your dominant dosha? Or what is my dominant dosha? And there are a number of places and quizzes that you can take online to determine this. Some are better than others. Some are more in-depth than others. This one here that I give you a link to is on Dr. Sumit's website, and he is he produces a lot of material for the International Ayurvedic Library, and his quiz I really like. It's not too long, but it's very in-depth and focused, and so and the feedback that you get from his quiz is very extensive and thorough, and so it'll help you understand your dosha really well. But you can also just do a search online. You can just type in dosha quiz to a search bar, and tons of options will pop up. And so I really recommend that you do this. Find out what your predominant dosha is, and most good quizzes out there will also tell you a bit about, you know, other, like the how much of the other doshas are present in your constitution as well. So I hope you do that and have fun with that. These are some supplemental readings that you can do. This is from a book list that I shared with you last week. Same books here. The Way of Ayurvedic Herbs is a great one to supplement your knowledge of Ayurveda and Tridosha Theory. Also Planetary Herbology in the Nature of Herbs section on pages 37 to 43, and also Appendix C cover topics in the Tridosha Theory realm. And let's see, I hope that you guys do take a dosha quiz. This weekend I am going to expand further on in another video on specific treatments for dosha derangements and dosha specific dietary suggestions. It won't be another live webinar. I will just by this weekend, I will be producing another video that will be uploaded to my YouTube account and emailed to anyone who is on my list. So I hope that if you're not already on my list and you're listening in here, just send me an email to shana@fatoftheland.net and just request to be added to the list, and I'll put you on there. So I just want to say thank you again to everyone that was here. We're wrapping this up, and I hope to see you next week.